We have the mysterious death of 18-year-old Nolan Xavier Wells, who was left by his three friends on Horns Island, Mississippi during the 4th of July. And some people are saying that they did something to it.
Authorities in Mississippi have located a body they believe likely belongs to a teen missing since the 4th of July. 18-year-old Nolan Wells was last seen on Horn Island Saturday. The barrier island is a popular vacation spot. The local sheriff's office says Wells was there with friends for the holiday when he was reported missing. ABC's Alex Perez is following this case for us. And Alex, great to see you. What's the latest with this?
Yeah, Stephanie, officials unfortunately say it appears we're dealing with a tragic ending in this case after beloved 18-year-old Nolan Wells disappeared July 4th after going on a boating trip with friends. Now, sadly, officials say a body matching the description of the 18-year-old was recovered about 8:45 this morning just off the shore of Horn Island, a popular holiday destination about 10 miles off the Mississippi Gulf Coast. Now, the teen and friends reportedly took a boat trip to the barrier island for the 4th of July holiday. He was last seen on Saturday at about 3 p.m. After he vanished, his family and friends making an emotional plea for help, flooding social media with pictures of the outing showing Wells and a group of friends on a boat. The 18-year-old seen holding what appears to be a hard or alcohol seltzer in his hand. The Jackson County Sheriff's Department, the Cajun Navy, and many volunteers spending much of the weekend searching for Wells. It remains unclear what exactly happened to him. Authorities say they are still working to figure out what exactly went wrong here as his community now grieves. Stephanie?
Now, this is a tragic situation no matter how you look at it. But the real question is, would you leave your friend on an island? No matter what they said, you came on vacation together. Would you just leave him there to find a way home by himself? And then he has no way to be contacted? I don't know, but let's keep going into this next one and see what else it tells us.
This morning, an urgent investigation to determine how 18-year-old Nolan Wells died on a boating trip with friends off the Mississippi Gulf Coast. As they await the results of the official autopsy, the Jackson County Sheriff's Office wants to hear from anyone who was on Horn Island over the 4th of July weekend.
I would urge anyone that had information or was on the island to let us interview you and take down as much information as we can to really piece together and figure out what may have happened.
Authorities say Wells' friends left the island and he stayed behind and was supposed to take a different boat back to the mainland Saturday, but never did. After a desperate search, Wells' body was found off the shore Monday. Investigators say they have no information at this time to indicate a crime was committed. And this morning, for the first time, we're seeing and hearing from Wells, who spoke with our affiliate WLOX on the day he signed to play college football.
It's truly a blessing, just being here with some of my best friends, teammates, and we're all going to college together, most of us, so it's just truly a blessing to be here.
His high school coach saying Wells was much more than an outstanding football player and that he carried himself with humility, treated others with respect, worked hard, and led by example. The teenager's emotional family, desperate for answers, they've hired civil rights attorney Ben Crump, who says his team will conduct an independent investigation.
And the family's new attorney, Ben Crump, says he will fight for the timely release of any records and witness accounts in this case. Nolan Wells would have turned 19 next month.
It's a tragic situation. I wonder why they went with Ben Crump. Because to me, it doesn't initially seem like a civil rights issue. It seems like, did they do something wrong or did they not? But would you leave your friend there to catch a boat ride back? I don't know if I would. I've been in several situations. I've always felt that if we come together, we leave together. It's as simple as that. But how am I to say that that isn't how some friends groups move? That if one of their friends said, yeah, I'm going to stay here, y'all, I can find another way home, they won't just leave. Especially this newer generation. But let's get over into, that's the end of the video. Let's get over into Twitter, formerly known as, or X, formerly known as Twitter. So there is some stuff that's people are talking about. So let's get over into it and see what we can find out. So the first thing we're going to be looking at, let's get over into it. The first thing, let's look at the statement from one of the parents of the teens who made it back. So our family, let me zoom in some for y'all so we can zoom. So our family, along with, can I zoom in anymore? No. Our family, along with the community, grieves the loss of Nolan Wells. Our thoughts and prayers are with Nolan's family. Our son, Warren, loved Nolan dearly. Unfortunately, I feel that it is appropriate for our family to dispel some rumors with facts based on the social media attention that is being diverted away from the Wells family and their loss. Yes, I deactivated my Facebook. Given the very heightened emotional state of social media right now, I fear for the safety of my child and my children. My husband and I have 6 children, and we cover their privacy. We do not believe it is appropriate for our minor children photograph to be circulated throughout the internet, presenting potential threats to their safety. I graduated high school with Christina Wells. We are from the same community. I have the utmost respect for her and all of the Wells family. We mourn the loss of Nolan with them. Our prayers have been and will continue to be with them. My husband and I were not at Horn Island at the point of 4th of July. No one in our family is trying any way to impede the investigation by law enforcement or to otherwise hamper the family and law enforcement's quest for answers. Warren was interviewed by the Jackson County Sheriff's Department and cooperated fully. He saw Nolan last at 3 p.m. on 4th of July. They left around 4:30 when the boat was taken on water. They had an issue with the bulge pump. Nolan made a decision to stay on the island and return to the island later with another group of friends. Yes, I am a judge. I also am very transparent. I apologize if anybody was offended that I deleted my social media. There was no nefarious motives in my deleting of my social media. Social media has a lot of positives, but a whole lot of negatives. We live in a world of clickbaiting, sad but true. My family is hopeful that this information will help to redirect the attention to the Wells family, their grief, and their need for the community support. All right. So let's get over into, let me zoom out some. So we know that this is him right here, Nolan Wells. Now here's something that I saw that sounded interesting. So it seems that one of Nolan's friends speaks out about the friend group itself. So let's get over into hear what this has to say.
I know that friend group that he was with is known for, I don't know if I can say this substance, but they're known for doing a certain substance. And, you know, some of us who have spoke to Nolan prior to the island date, we know that they were known for doing that substance. Another thing that we believe is, what if they peer pressured him into doing something, and again with the mixture of alcohol and
this is allegedly, y'all. This is allegedly, and Jesus just giving us his synopsis of what he feels. So allegedly, Jesus, you got to remember when you're getting on these panels, you got to say allegedly, because somebody will try to wrap you up.
Allegedly coming from his friend group that knows him very well. I'm talking about teammates that played with him, went to school with him, and folks that see him every weekend. Allegedly, we believe that maybe something just didn't go the way they wanted it to. Maybe they were trying to have a little bit too much fun, and it was just a mistake that they covered up. But I know for a fact that friend group that they were with is known for a certain substance. So it does not surprise me whatsoever. And I'm almost certainly confident, allegedly, that there was that substance on that boat. I know we won't know till the body gets tested and all that, but, you know, it's what makes sense to me. I don't believe he tried to swim back to the island or anything like that. There's just a lot of things that doesn't make sense. Why did they leave him in the first place? Why didn't they make sure he had a ride home? If that was me and my friend group that I typically hang out with, I mean, Nolan, yes, was in that, but if it was me and my 4 close friends, I'm not leaving that island until I leave with my friend.
I mean, yes, he is 100% right. Majority of fringe groups that I attend with, if we go to an island together, it's going to take a lot to convince me to let you just stay there. You're going to have to just stay there by yourself, and especially have no way to communicate you or anything like that. But let's get over into this. Now, some people are talking about this video right here. And this is basically one that basically saying that they're hearing them argue. So let's get over into it. So let's back it up a tad bit. See, I can't, nothing is clear to me in this. A lot of people are saying that you can clearly hear them arguing. I don't know how you tell who is talking in this. It just seems like a bunch of people. So I don't know about this one. As we know, it says that we parked right next to them and he was nowhere in sight when we left at 7:30. No matter how you look at it, it's a tragic situation. But at the end of the day, do you think that they killed him? Or do you think it's possible that they got overly intoxicated, or he got overly intoxicated and possibly doing some drugs and ended up truly drowning? We'll have to wait for the autopsy to finish up, where we get the toxicology report. But that is right now is sitting at he drowned and it's an accidental death. So let's get over into the AI breakdown just to wrap it all up, y'all. So we know Nolan Xavier Wells was 18 years old, student athlete in Mississippi. He tragically died on July 4th in Horns Island during the weekend. So on Saturday, July 4th, Wells traveled to Horn Island, a barrier island off the Mississippi Gulf Coast by private boat with a group of friends. He was last seen around 3 p.m. According to the Jackson County Sheriff's Department, Wells did not return to the mainland with his original group. Initially, reports and witness statements suggest that he voluntarily chose to remain on the island, planning to hitch a ride back with another group later that afternoon. Newly details shared by friends' parents indicates that their initial boat had also started taking on water. When Wells did not return by midnight, his mother, Christine, reported him missing because his parents had his cell phone at home. Because his parents had his cell phone at home, location tracking was not possible. Why didn't he have his cell? See, that's the biggest thing. An 18-year-old without his cell phone just doesn't make sense, especially going on the weekend getaway. A massive multi-agency search was launched involving the U.S. Coast Guard, National Park Services, and volunteer groups like the United Cajun Navy. So on Monday, July 6th, a U.S. park ranger recovered a body at the northwestern tip of Horn Island. On July 7th, the Jackson County coroner utilized the dental records to identify the body and confirm that it's Wells. As of July 8th, authorities suspect accidental drowning and have explicitly stated that they do not suspect any kind of foul play. Finding no initial evidence of a crime, however, the investigation remains highly active as officials piece together his final hours. As we know, the circumstances of Wells' death ignited viral speculation on a platform like TikTok, Instagram, where the commentators drew heavily on the racial dynamic of the trip. So Wells was black, and while his 3 friends were white. A lot of people play a lot of heavy emphasis on the race card. They might have been truly good friends. We don't know that. Seeking transparency and definitive answer, Wells' family retained a prominent civil rights lawyer, attorney Ben Crump. Crump's legal team has launched an independent review of the timeline and demanding a swift, transparent investigation from the local enforcement organizations like the NAACP have also publicly expressed their solidarity to the family. A community-led GoFundMe campaign has established to assist his family with a memorial, and they have raised over $220,000. That's one of the biggest questions is why did he not have his phone? So Nolan and Xavier did not have his phone because he left it on the boat he arrived in. According to the local residents and investigators, it is a standard practice for people visiting Horn Island to leave their cell phones secured on the boat to prevent them from getting waterlogged, damaged, or lost in the sand while hanging out on the beach. So left on the initial. So Nolan's mother, Christine, confirmed that his phone remained on the boat he and his high school friends used to travel to the island. When Nolan did not return to the mainland with his original group, his friends brought the boat back and subsequently delivered his phone to his parents. Because the phone was safe, his family on the mainland, while Nolan was on the island, law enforcement and search coordinations were completely unable to use GPS data. So the exact reason why Nolan was separated from his phone and why it wasn't handed to him before his friends departed the island remains one of the central points of scrutiny by his family and attorney Ben Crump as they piece together the timeline. Now it could have, honestly, we gotta tell how it is. If you're drinking, which they most likely were, we got pictures of it. If you're drinking and you already don't have your phone with you, I don't think you're automatically going to think, oh, let me get my phone before they take off on the boat. At least we gotta tell how it is. Cause if I don't have my phone with me and I haven't had it the whole day we were out here, if my friends say, oh yeah, you can go. They said, oh, we leaving. They said, nah, I'll catch a boat back. I'm not going to initially think to get my phone, but it's still, what do y'all think, y'all? Do y'all think that this friends had some kind of hidden agenda? Or do you think it's a truly case of accidental drowning and they were just good friends who made a terrible mistake of leaving him there by himself? What are your thoughts on that situation, y'all? Let me know if you disagree with anything I said. It's a tragic situation no matter how you look at it, but we have to review this type of stuff together.